that's a long time, sir. 38 years has been a really long time, and I'm sure there must have been a lot of learnings for you over the years, and must have been a lot of transitionary forces from, from the army and now retired life. But do you want to share with us three of the most important things that you keep, the fundamentals from the army that you keep with yourself?
Yes, army is a learning every day. And my experience is that as much as you learn from officers, you learn equally or even more from the men that you command. And these men actually don't stand and give you a lecture. You learn from the way they conduct themselves.
Right.
And I joined a battalion which is 5 guards, which are boys from actually entire Trans-Himalayan ranges. And actually they in a manner affected the way I actually practiced leadership. Because I found those guys were so devoted, so dedicated, that you had to actually tell them something and forget about it, that it had to be done. They never ever said whether they've had water to drink, they were had food to drink, they were hungry. They never complained about anything. You gave them a job, it had to be done. They conducted themselves with so much of grace and dignity that I realized that you can never let down people of that caliber who give you 100% trust, 100% loyalty. And therefore, during my entire service, I was prepared to take on the entire system when the interests of my men were involved. Right. That was a very important lesson. And second is that as a leader or as a man, you deal with other people. Trust is is a most important word that ever was evolved. In civil, it's so much difficult to build trust, but the army actually survives on trust. And if I can share with you that, and a lot of people find this foolish actually, any financial transactions, I never read that paper. I just that, man, have you read it? He would say, yes, sir. Can I trust you? I said, yes, sir. And signed it blindly. For those 38, 40 years, I did that, and I know nobody ever let me down. And third, of course, is that you find above you good superiors and bad superiors. Mm-hmm. When you come across bad superiors, you got to confront them. Sometimes disobey certain orders which bring harm to your men and to your people, your organization. That's a very difficult choice. I've done that during my entire service, and based on that, I am actually now writing a book which is being published by Pentagon Press, and the title of the book is Maverick Leadership, Embracing the Power of Constructive Disobedience. These are great learnings, long list, but these are 3 essential ones.
There's a lot of learnings from the army that a nation should follow as well. Do you have any of those learnings for a country such as India, wherein there's so much diversity, there's so many people, there's so much culture involved, and similarly, there's a lot of diversity in the army as well. But how do you think India as a nation should learn from the Indian Army?
I think that's the most important question that you asked me. And let me start this conversation with what our Honorable President Srimati Draupadi Murmu, in her speech, which was actually printed as an article in Indian Express on 16th August, and she reiterated that the identity as an Indian is more important than the identity based on your religion or caste. And actually, it struck me like a bolt from the blue. It may mean nothing to somebody else. Why it hit me that hard was that 75 years after our independence, our president had to reiterate this. That means there is a definite deficit somewhere in the society where some people of some religion and some caste seem to be looking at their more narrow identity as bigger than a national identity. And I think army, and when I say army means armed forces, army, navy, air force, mm-hmm. are really a glowing example of how to deal with inclusivity. Army really is a small India. We talk of India as unity and diversity. Army is a manifestation and a living body of those values. And why is it that some time back, in fact, that problem is still continuing. In Manipur, there was ethnic violence based on caste and ethnicity. A few days back, there was violence in Nu, in Haryana, which was based on religion. It is the same people who are in the army, but this is not even a factor. So, And how does army really do this? And I think we have to understand that how army ensures that the diversity is turned into your strength is in the manner that the army conducts itself. And I'm really very happy to say that not that there is anything wrong with the reservation. The reservation is important for some people, it is necessary. But army is good, army is strong, army, because there is no reservation in the army of any kind. And it starts from the recruitment. Recruitment is based on a certain criteria, which does not include religion, which does not include your caste. It's based on class composition of people belonging to a certain region. So when a soldier actually joins the army, right from the time he trains till he joins the unit, the driving and motivating force of a soldier is not religion or caste. It is something much, much bigger. And those things are your identity as an Indian and your identity in belonging to the unit that you belong. Now, I'll just show you this tie that I'm wearing. When I'm wearing this tie, the whole Indian Army knows that I belong to Brigade of the Guards. This is an identity which is I'm most proud of. And when somebody tells me, asks me something, I'll tell him that I'm a guardsman. That's what people from Brigade of Guards are called, and I'm from 5 Guards. So the men are motivated not based on religion or caste. They are motivated on larger issues of the military values of camaraderie, selfless service, loyalty, service to the nation, brotherhood. These are the issues actually, and not what your religion teaches you. And the beauty is that in the army, everybody has space and time to practice his religion. But army gives just the adequate, just the appropriate amount of space and no more, right? And these are all personal, very, very personal issues, which there is a half an hour Mandir parade on a Sunday, that is it, and then you're back to business. So it is that the motivation is based not on religion or your caste, but on much larger issue of what you represent as an organization, what values your organization stands for, what values uniform that you wear stands for. And that is what brings all people together.